Hello guys, just before the show's getting ready to start, I do want to go and let you guys know we do have a few more minutes. Make sure to share the link in which you are watching, and if you are not watching, well, you need to be watching. Actually, you have to be watching to go and hear what it is that I'm saying right now. Don't you? Yes, it's going to be one of those days. Wait for our guests to get in, and also letting you know that you can go and sign up for Torah 3 today. That's the Tiger Network, Torah3.com. Sign up today and enhance your free speech. All right, be right back, guys. Guys, how are you doing? I hope you're doing wonderful and everything is checking out. I'm looking right now to make sure that we're on one particular other site. Give me 1 second to go and kill that music that's in the background, and the echoey background that is, because, well, let's just say my microphone can pick up quite a bit. Like, if I were to cut my fan on right now, we would definitely be having some issues. Alright, I'm looking and I'm seeing that it's, we are broadcasting on the Tiger Network, Twitch TV, hello guys, D Live, Periscope, and YouTube. Alright, we are on, and I'm still waiting for my guest to arrive. But we're going to press on because we're going to keep it on a tight schedule today, guys. And the sun's coming in and out. So let's get started with some prayer. That's what we're going to do. Father, thank you so much for the many, many blessings that you give us each and every day. I pray, Father God, that you anoint the words that I say as I share your word and share the truth, Father. I ask that there be a complete blessing over everything that is going on right now. We know that you are in control, that you know what's going on. None of this is new to you, Father, and I thank you and I praise you, and to you all be the glory. I ask it in your heavenly Son's name, in Jesus Christ's name I pray. Amen and amen. We're going to start off with that scripture, and it is coming from Deuteronomy 31 verse 6. Be strong and of good courage. Fear not, nor be afraid of them. For the Lord thy God, he it is that doth go with thee. He will not fail thee, nor forsake thee. That is Deuteronomy 31, verse 6. Sometimes the tongue and the lips don't want to go together, but one thing is for sure. No matter what, God is with us each and every day and every step of the way. We got to remember that because, we are living in the upside down kind of thing going on. And that means what's right is wrong, what's wrong is right, and well, we just got to look past that, very much so. I'm hoping that Jim is able to show up because I did not hear any word that he was not going to be here today. And well, I'm just praying that he comes in, and hopefully I'll be able to go and see when he does, and I'm able to go and admit him as he comes in as well. So I thank you guys for coming today. I thank you very much for being who you are as we go and do what it is that we do. As a matter of fact, I may have to do one thing as I'm looking here. We've had some network issues in our area, and it seems to bump me off, and I have to go back into the settings and put me back onto the Ethernet. So if you just bear with me, I want to make sure there might be a little bleep in the connection. So just bear with me for a second, because I would much rather do this on a wired line than on the Wi-Fi. So we're gonna try to get this done quickly and hopefully with no interruptions as I'm watching it, and it should be doing its thing in well, in 3, 2, 1. Okay. It says it's enabled, but I'm not seeing it at the bottom of the screen. It's identifying. So we're going to see whether or not it's going to switch over, and there it did. So hopefully there was no interruption in what it was that we were doing. I'm hoping so anyways. Let me go and see whether or not. Nope, still no guest. So we're gonna push through, okay? All right. We are going to start with this. Everybody knows what's going on right now, and there's a lot of cheating and deceiving and craziness going on right now. That is a given for sure. So as we go through this, I'm going to go ahead and pull up the next screen, which is supposed to be a live active screen. And I've noticed some things that have been going on that have been a little funky today. So hopefully we'll be able to pull this up with no problem. And the little funkiness is right here. And of course it's not going to go and do what I want. Oh, there it is. It's at the bottom there. It's saying 94.4 and 94.4. The numbers are just a little bit tiny as far as off goes, but it's like they're leaning more toward turning the state blue. But I have a feeling from some of the reports and stuff that I've been seeing, don't think it's going to be turning blue. This right here, I don't know what is going on as far as why in the world this hasn't been called. It's 99% of the votes done. Donald Trump is at 50.1%. Joe Biden is at 48.7%. So why has this not been turned red yet? That's my question. And oh, my guest has arrived. So hang on one second. Let me see. Well, it doesn't. Now where are you? Okay. All right. Doo-doo. Okay. So I'm waiting for my guest to come into the window, and I'm going to go ahead and I guess I might have to do let's see, should be able to be in there. Say, waiting on you. Okay. So hopefully All right, I may have to send another invite, guys. Nope, there it is right there. Hello, hello, hello. There you are. Say hello to everybody. We are live.
Well, I'm here. I'm just trying to get it all straight.
Okay,
Getting
well,
set up, getting my CB radio working. I'm
there you go.
ha ha ha. There we are. I just had to switch over to interior cerebellum ears. Okay, we're good. I can hear you.
All
Let me
right.
see.
And I don't know if you're watching, besides the screen that we're on right now, are you watching in any of the, uh, any of the
No, I
platforms?
just walked in the house.
Okay.
I'm running late.
Okay. Well, while you get caught up, I'm going to go ahead and finish my train of thought, and then we'll join in together. How about that?
I'm plugging I'm plugging in. So yeah, has North Carolina decided who's president?
We were just talking about that. It seems that North Carolina is showing Trump at 51.1 and Joe Biden at 48.7, yet they have refused to change the state red yet on the map. So it's one of
Well,
those
that
moments where you're
doesn't
going,
really matter, the map and stuff.
yeah.
It matters the electoral college is got the accurate stuff in a
Yeah, and that
month.
doesn't happen until December, right?
Yeah, so they can futz around until then, because that's when the president is actually decided. Right now they gotta futz around because like North Carolina hasn't released their stuff properly yet. Michigan has to recount because they have like I believe 30. I might be wrong on the number, but 37 counties that used defective counting software that counted Republican
Mm.
votes Democrat accidentally.
Wow, that's some
So Michigan
interesting
has to
news.
recount. So if Michigan and North Carolina, who knows who's going to be president yet? We don't know yet.
Well, what do you
We
think?
just don't
Just
know.
curious. Are you not ready to make a call
I
on
think
that?
that somebody's going to make it.
I agree.
I have got
All right.
somebody's
I'm
going to
not
try to
sure. Let
make
me.
it.
I don't know what will happen if I do the screen share, but I'm going to try and
I
see.
I am. Go ahead and share screens. I'm
This
trying to figure
way,
out the
you.
screen here.
Where is that? Ah, there we go. That should be the one that I want. No, yep, that's the one that I want to share. And
There we go.
unfortunately,
I
that will
retweeted your tweet.
freeze. That freezes the. Hang on a minute. I got to get rid of us on the. I have to get rid of our uh, video
Your
because whenever
video's
we
good.
do that, it makes everything kooky unless I just minimize and or black us out so that we're not on the screen. And the reason why is because it freezes. Zoom, when you run it through OBS, will go and freeze it. So you don't actually, you know, see what it is that you need to see online, if that makes any sense. So I had to go and take us
I
off of
no
that.
longer know if I need to see anything online.
Well,
You know,
I
it's
can
like,
send you a link to the news, and that way you can follow along. That way you can just, pull it up in a browser so you can follow along. Because this is the document that I'm using. So I'm going to go and stop sharing, and cut us back on, in the little zoomy room right here. There we are. And I'm going to continue on. If you haven't signed up for the Tiger Network, please do so. Okay, you can do that by going to tor3.com. I've got a link. You can find this information. I'm going to put it in the chat, so I'm going to do a little tiny link. And that way you can click on it and you can follow along. That is the whole reason I put these things together, is so that we can follow along together. And I just saw that.
I am catching up on stuff, and I'm
okay. No. Okay. All right. And the other thing I want to go and tell you guys is to make sure to support American-made products. And you can do that by heading over to P2P Printing. They specialize in the 8 and the Coon for you. So make sure that you go and check that out. The link again is p2pprinting.com. And welcome to Debbie. Thank you very much for being in the room. Good vibes to you as well. I'm going to start off with a very interesting story that started, or I saw a couple hours ago. The U.S. Department of Justice announced the seizure of virtual currency worth around $24 million on behalf of the Brazilian government as a part of an investigation into a large-scale fraud scheme. So my thinking is this is not going to be the only one that they get. When they say large-scale fraud scheme, seems to me that that might be a little bit more. They actually featured that particular article in Forbes magazine, so the article can be reached by clicking on the link. Then I have one that I saw come up, and I'm like, well, wait a minute. Shawnosaurus Rex. I don't know if you follow him, but he is quite interesting in some of the things that
Is
he
that
has.
a real name?
Well, that's his handle. It's Sean G927, but he calls himself Shawnosaurus Rex. And
Shawnosaurus next.
yeah, Shawn like a dinosaur, except his name's instead of Tyrannosaurus.
Shawnosaur.
Instead of
Like they call me Barneysaurus.
there you go. Well, he writes, the new James Bond film, No Time to Die, has been delayed until next year. It is now reported that this new film will feature actress Lashana Lynch as the new 007. Lynch said she's proud to be the first black female 007, and the franchise is done with toxic masculinity.
Masculinity.
Thank you very much.
Masculinity.
Yeah.
Toxic masculinity. I'm full of it. I'm up to here. Toxic
I'm with you. I am with you on that. My thing is how in the
I raise
world.
my arms. The world smells toxic masculinity.
Well, here's
Everywhere we go, we have toxic masculinity.
I'll let you finish.
Only half the world has it. But
Here's my thing on the whole thing. How are we supposed to come together when statements like these keep being made in its whole quote? Its whole quote. Why can't you just say you're the first female 007? Why must you put a color by it? This is what continues to divide us, is putting a color. We're all Americans. We're all human beings, at least most of us. Let's act like it. Let's stop going and dividing ourselves. That's why I shared that particular post, because I am tired of the division. That's my two cents.
there's a lot of division going on.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's so much division going on, especially with what's going on in the world with the election and everything. It's like we're all Americans. So I think all of us in some way, form, or fashion do not want to go and, you know, we don't want to be divided. We don't want to have that thing going on. I would say a majority of us don't want to be divided.
No, yeah, you're right. But the problem is, this is not about dividing us so much. It's about changing our entire country's political system. It's
Mm.
about building about building a new communist world here.
Oh no, please, please, let's not. Let's not. I vote against it. All in.
Yeah. It doesn't matter if you vote against it. They will count the votes as they see fit.
This is true. Very, very true.
You're that's that is not going to be even considered in any of it.
Well, we can pray otherwise. That's what I
Yeah,
want
but
to.
but you realize that there is no if your state in Pennsylvania, the city of brotherly love,
Mm-hmm.
don't come together and fix what's going on in Detroit, Michigan.
Yeah.
So if they don't come together, then they're going to be deciding just those three little places the election for the United States of America. Maybe they're okay with that. So it's quite possible they're okay with that, but whether it is okay and they're okay with it are not the same things, you know.
I understand that one. All right, we're going to continue on. And as we mosey on into the next subject, it happens to be from Dana Dale. Dana Dale says there's a report half of Facebook's employees don't believe company has a positive impact on the world. Well, let's just hope that their boss doesn't find out that they feel that way. Because you know what's going to happen then? They won't be working for him anymore. Because it's a totalitarian kind of organization. Don't you think? Maybe? Nah. Don't know. But I know that if you want to go and read this, it's a short article, and it was put out by Breitbart, but it's like, wow. What would make you go and write one of those articles during this point in time? And who would dare answer that those questions? Because I don't know. I can't see Facebook employees going, well, you know what? We really don't think that old Zuck is a positive influence in the world today. That's just big red flag and be looking for a job. That's how I feel about that one. Newt had something very, very interesting to say, and I am going to, let's see, I can't remember. I think it was like just a few minutes long, but I can play this video if you would like to see it, Jim. I know that others would like to see it.
Would like to see it, please. And I'm sorry if I'm multitasking here.
No, don't.
I'm happy to be on your show.
Oh, it's okay. I'm not even looking at it that way. I know that I multitask while I'm on my own show. So I totally understand. All right, so I am going to go and play Newt as he speaks for millions of Americans and the process that's going on right now, and the fact that I'll just let you listen. So here we go.
Since 1958. That's 62 years. I am the angriest I have been in that entire 6 decades. You have a group of corrupt people who have absolute contempt for the American people, who believe that we are so spineless, so cowardly, so unwilling to stand up for ourselves, that they can steal the presidency and we'll wring our hands, bring in a few lawyers, and do nothing. My hope is that President Trump will lead the millions of Americans who understand exactly what's going on. The Philadelphia machine is corrupt. The Atlanta machine is corrupt. The machine in Detroit is corrupt. And they're trying to steal the presidency, and we should not allow them to do that. First of all, under federal law, we should lock up the people who are breaking the law. You stop somebody from being an observer, you just broke federal law. You hide and put up paper so nobody can see what you're doing, you just broke federal law. You bring in ballots that aren't real, you just broke federal law. I am sick and tired of corrupt left-wing Democrats who believe that we are too timid and too easy to intimidate, and therefore let us go out and steal it. That's exactly, no one should have any doubt. You are watching an effort to steal the presidency of the United States, and this is not about Donald Trump. This is about the American people. Do the American people have the right in an honest election with honest, legitimate ballots to pick their leader? Or are we now just sheep to be dominated by the high-tech businesses, the news media, and the various political machines? And are we supposed to surrender? So I think this is a crisis in the American system, comparable to Washington on Christmas Eve or comparable to Lincoln at Gettysburg. This is a genuine, deep crisis of our survival.
So what is the...
That was pretty powerful, I think. What do you think, Jim?
Yeah, I heard that. That's the second time I've heard it. And that's coming from Newt Gingrich. He was the Speaker of the House. He had Nancy Pelosi's position in the 90s, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's a big-time American varsity player politician. He knows what's going on.
Right.
I've never heard him so angry. He gets angry easily, but
right. But he usually his anger usually is like, I'm mad, and then backs off. But he came out and said in his 60 years he's never been so angry. That to me says something, because usually he doesn't show his hand. He really doesn't. I mean, you have to do a lot to get him riled. That's how I've always taken him. You really have to do a lot to get him riled. So
yeah, he's something. He was the Contract with America guy, and I wish that had gone longer.
Mm-hmm.
And I wonder how long this voting irregularities have gone on.
I'm getting Miss Irma saying something about sound. I'm seeing sound on my end. Is Jim too low?
They're being censored because whatever. If I said a word that's not supposed to be
aired, thank you.
Aired. It's not air. It's people are really real time doing that.
That's very, very true. All right, sorry guys, but I've got I'm looking at all the levels, and all the levels are going, hey, I've got some sound. I did notice that Zoom was acting a little kooky today. When I first logged onto it, it was almost like a Max Headroom kind of thing. I'm like, whoa, this is weird. I've never seen it act that way before with no virtual background behind me. So, just a heads up on that one. This one, I don't know if have you seen this video? It's quite interesting. I saw it last night and I shared it on the Night Owl News. All right, thank you guys. So they got sound.
I have been driving all day.
Okay.
I had to drive to far off places, and that's where I'm at now.
I
So
gotcha.
your state map here with the red and the blue and all that.
Yes.
If Michigan is recounting 37 counties now that had the glitch in their counting software,
Mm-hmm.
it may also turn red. And when North Carolina is declared red, and Georgia, and gee, what about Georgia? What about Georgia?
Georgia is right now, when you highlight over this map, it shows you a breakdown. And Georgia has had 99% of the votes counted. They have it 49-4, 49-4 between Joe and Donald, and there's a let's see here. I can't do the math, but at the bottom you can see there's a slight difference between the two on the numbers of votes. But they also had some videos floating around in Georgia of ballots being in dumpsters. I saw that earlier.
The dumpsters and the fire and the blank ballots that were filled out by the same person multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
We have a regular on our network, Abby, Blue Eyes.
Yep.
I saw where she posted a video today of poll workers filling in multiple ballots. I still have that. I downloaded that video in case it hasn't been.
Yeah, I caught myself.
If it gets removed, then I will upload it again.
Right. I've downloaded a few videos like that. The one, now I'm going to say this. I don't have it on this, and I'll probably talk about it in Discord after the Night Owl News. The president, when he spoke, he used one particular word, and Abby pointed out that word as well. And that word was shenanigans. Okay? In describing everything that was going on. There is a video, and I think...
Has he called for violence?
No.
Because I have one of my friends that's chatting with me on the side here that says that President Trump has called for violence.
I have not heard of that. Well, we can ask the room for sure. Have you guys heard of President Trump calling for violence at this point? Because I was pretty much on Twitter checking everything before I came on. Because I do research up into the last little bit before I come on. And I didn't see anything about that. And that would be definitely something that Twitter would not, what is it? They would not censor that because they'd want to point that out as a bad thing. So I didn't see it. But I could be wrong, and I am not sure. I'm not seeing anybody put anything in there that says anything about him calling for violence. So I'm not sure.
Well,
I forgot the question before.
I'm not going to give my friend's name.
Okay.
But.
Okay. Patronus says no, but my neighbor thinks the stand by line by Trump at the debate was calling for it. Yeah, I remember that one. You're talking more recent.
Direct quote from my friend.
Okay.
Who got this likely from media somewhere.
Okay.
Trump is asking, because my friend is not is a close friend.
Okay.
And sincere. So Trump is asking for violence and recounting votes. And I replied, Trump is asking for violence, recounting, yes. It was a question.
Right.
And then they said, I cannot agree with you. He's trying to destroy the basis of the country. So that's sincere. That's coming from someone that I know is super sincere with what they're saying.
Okay.
So,
Well, I'm gonna have to check.
which media is giving them that?
Yeah, that would definitely be
I
the
haven't seen that.
question. I haven't seen it either. Or where is he actually located at? Has a lot to do with how they're pushing the media
I
too.
heard his speech yesterday evening
Mm-hmm.
at 6:30, and there was nothing in that. He was calm, cool, collected. He mentioned shenanigans,
Mm-hmm.
and I've seen video of shenanigans. And it's not like it may not have been most of the places in the country where those shenanigans took place. In
Right.
fact, I'm sure it wasn't.
This
Things
particular
were cool. Where I voted, things were cool and collected.
exactly.
Where my friend voted as well. But in the places that are actually deciding the election this time, in 2016, the election was basically decided like in a county in Wisconsin.
Right.
And this time it's being decided in Detroit, in Philadelphia, you know.
Yeah.
So
Well, there were. I will say this: when I looked through the map,
and that's where the shenanigans I saw the videos of were.
there is one particular video. It's of a blonde-headed woman who left the polling station, came back to the polling station, took a video of her talking, and she says shenanigans. So I think that that was a way for us to catch on to what Trump was saying, because what are the odds of him using shenanigans in a sentence, and this woman posting this video in Detroit? It's almost like a signal to say, hey, keep your eyes on Detroit. Keep your eyes there. That's my opinion. Because sometimes he will throw us a bone and let us know what's going on without coming right out and saying what's going on. So, but this video...
They are probably very busy right now.
Yes, absolutely. This video is quite interesting. I do want to play it and give it a listen to, because he's sharing something that those that follow those guys, I'm not going to say the other one, I'm just going to say those guys. Yes, thank you, Debbie. Those guys have been telling us to keep our eye on the water. Okay? So I'm going to play this and let everybody hear this one.
Chief Pachenik, as we're in the middle of this, the election's over. We're now in the stealing process of the election. What are you seeing? What's going through your mind as you're witnessing this gigantic hoax?
Number one, it's not a hoax. What's happening now, and the reason I couldn't come on the Alex Jones show last night was I was not given the permission that I needed to in order to say what I'm about to say now. I do not work for the federal government. I'm not paid by them. Let me just say again what I said in 2016. There are honorable members of our intelligence, military, and civilian community in the government who understood exactly how corrupt Biden and the Democratic machinery is, was, and will be. This is really a sting operation, contrary to what everybody else said. Trump knew this was happening. Eric knew this was happening and warned the public. I knew this was happening. However, I could not say anything about it. What happened was we watermarked every ballot with what's called the QFS blockchain encryption code. In other words, we know pretty well where every ballot is, where it went, and who has it. So this is not a stolen election. On the contrary,
I heard this as well.
We
I don't
reversed
think it's
the
real.
entire game of war along the lines of Sun Tzu.
Unfortunately, I don't think it's real because I think counties print their own ballots, and this isn't blockchain technology in every different county. you know.
I've
So
seen a couple.
If you're in Orange County, your ballot's printed differently than if you're in Sutter County, or if you're in Raleigh, or
Mhm.
wherever your ballot is different. And it's too many different locations for them to possibly have done that. That is, they may have done it in specific locations, though. They may have done it in Detroit. They may have done it in Philadelphia, because I don't think anybody in Pennsylvania wants Philadelphia deciding their election for them. Not since maybe 1776.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
and
I
maybe not even then.
right.
But as far as it goes, they may have done that in selected locations, and that's entirely possible, but not for the entire nation.
I think that if
So
we go back and if we can retrack or no track where at one point in time back in, I believe it was August. It may have been a little bit before August. Ah, it was during this virus. I can't say what. I just say the beer virus because, I'm on other channels, and if I talk about something, I got to be careful. But we'll just call it the beer virus. I remember being told that there were certain areas being dispatched military. And people sort of got a little bit kooky and crazy and saying that, well, wait a minute, how did they put it? There's a term that's used when the military is sent out, and I can't think of it right now. Oh, they were worried about the. Oh my goodness. My screen is frozen. Can you still hear me?
I can hear you, but you're going to be frozen because
Yeah, I know.
you're probably. I
I'm
hate
on
to say
target.
it, but
I'm on
when I
target.
mumble a little bit, my phone asks me to enunciate,
I get it. I get
and
it. Yeah.
and I get tired. I start lisping,
There you go.
and my phone asks me to. What was that again?
Yeah.
I didn't catch
Yeah,
that.
you see what happened with my screen, my internet. It says, "Oh snap, something happened."
The
Yeah.
the interwebs have to catch up with the intrawebs there,
Yes, I
so that
understand that
everything is
totally.
intricately weaved together. So yeah, they could easily have digitally watermarked all of those ballots to find out which were real and which are fake for individual counties or cities type things. But I couldn't see that possibly being a reality for the whole country.
I think it was a strategic
That's
thing, like we're discussing, but I got to be careful. I don't want to go too deep in this. Let's just go and move on from this. But I will say that one thing, and I think it was strategic, like chess.
can I say this?
Yes.
While we're on the subject, we'll get away from that because that's interesting, and I hope it's true.
Mm-hmm.
I do believe it's not up to the president or the former vice president to decide this. It is up to the local communities to decide this and how their election results are tabulated.
I
Uh,
I agree.
if they haven't done it fairly, then it's up to the candidates to cry foul.
Mm-hmm.
But the individual places like Philadelphia, if they do it the way they do it in Philadelphia, but if it's not done fairly,
Mm-hmm.
then they can, and by the rules, then, and they have rules in each state, and each state is different.
Yes.
That's why those are where it has to be decided. And if they're not doing it fairly, if they're not letting impartial observers watch the count, or if they're like Crayolaing in, unmarked ballots, which
Mm-hmm.
I saw video of it happening. Um, then they are definitely, they should cry foul and have it investigated and have the court look at what happened. But other than that, it's not the candidate's place to be like counting the votes. That's your community. So if your community is so effed up that nobody can count properly, or if everyone's cheating, look at the ethics and morals where you live.
Absolutely.
Is the city of brotherly love just north of you that messed up?
That is true. Very, very
It's got
true.
some messed up neighborhoods, but it's a pretty nice city. I've been to Philadelphia. It's a nice place. But is it that bad?
I
Are
don't
they
know.
are
I've
they
never,
that
I've never
morally
been to Philly.
corrupt? Are they that morally corrupt there that they can't do the right thing? And dark will come to light. All of the hocus pocus and fake events and what have you will come out in the future, and then they will be criminally liable for what happened.
This is very true.
And
Very,
and
very
I'm
true.
not saying Trump or Biden won this election, because I don't know.
Right.
And there are a whole hecaton of people out there that see it either way.
True.
And they're sincere, and they see it their way, and they're willing to argue over it. And just be calm, guys.
Oh, absolutely.
And take care of your own municipality, your own county, your own parish down there in Louisiana, what have you. We haven't heard any problems out of Louisiana.
I haven't heard
They'll
any.
feed you to the alligators down there if you if you mess up too. But even their Democrats are conservative there. I like Louisiana, I really do.
I like how Debbie wrote, yes, dark will come to light. And that is absolutely true.
So that's and if President Trump is no longer president, and it happens later on, then that's going to be very embarrassing for our country.
It already is
We'll
embarrassing for
we
our
will work
country.
through it. We will
Yes.
work through it however it goes.
Absolutely.
And if we end up looking like Nigeria, so be it. I saw some great stuff in Nigeria, and the people rising up there and not accepting like their mandatory inoculations and what have you. 'Cause
Gotcha.
they didn't want to get polio. Can't blame them.
True. I'm going to continue on now.
Sorry, I
No.
interrupted.
Do not apologize. Do not apologize. Speak from the heart, and that's always the right thing. Whenever we went, when my computer froze a while ago, it zoomed in on my face. I'm like, how did I get so big here? Weird stuff. Okay. Representative Jim Jordan, he wrote something. He goes, now, isn't it convenient how this always seems to happen in Democrat-run cities? And he shared a Kyle Cheney, I think is his name, about the Postal Service discovering more than 1,000 ballots in Philadelphia and 300 in Pittsburgh on Thursday, and is rushing them to the election office ahead of the 5 p.m. Friday deadline, according to the court filing posted just after midnight. This is the kind of stuff that I know he's being sarcastic, because that's who Jim gets testy, and he gets sarcastic. I've seen him in council meetings. No, not you, Jim. Representative Jim Jordan. Mr. Jordan.
Yeah.
He gets testy. But I thought, if we're going to go and keep the information flowing, then we should keep up with everything that's going on. This was a guy by the name of Aaron Gonzalez 77, and he had shared this graphic and talking about California, which is where you're at. Said that all the votes have not been counted in California. It's been sitting at 66% for 4 days. Why hasn't anyone mentioned this? Some Senate and House races are called with only 55% of the vote. And then it has the graphic here where it's showing 65.1 and 33 for Donald, reporting 66% of the vote. So, and that's in your neck of the woods. I don't know if you'll be able to pull
I
it up
think
for
where
yours or
I
not.
live that it's probably really close to 50-50.
Okay. But I thought, well,
And there's like some real super sincere Biden people around here. They have signs in their yard.
I gotcha. See, I it's hard for me to believe the way that it's going here in my county, because I've looked at the breakdown and everything, and we have more votes than registered voters in our county.
Well, couldn't they have registered like the day of the vote?
No. We have a rule against that.
Okay.
You have up to a certain time.
If you have more
to
voters
register.
than are registered to vote, then you should probably bring that.
It's
You
shenanigans.
should probably bring that up. That is a shenanigan.
That is some of that shenanigans, for sure. And we're keeping our eyes on that kind of stuff. Now, all right, I am going to show you this so that everybody knows. I don't consider this. I'm going to show it. I'm just going to show it. I prayed about it, and I'm like, all right, this particular person started following me today, and it's a person from. It's Japanese, written in Japanese, and he has pinned to his profile this picture. And Orlando and a couple other people that are in the chat room right now, we ran across this particular person. Oh gosh, now I'm going to forget what it was. Where he had, he's not a government official, but he takes pictures and he has close access to the White House and to the president. And some of these pictures, when we were doing our little dig, this picture in the middle for sure, well, not middle, but the top right here, was shared. And now they're missing from that page. They're not there anymore. So I know that.
I don't. You're not sharing your screen.
Oh no! I've got it on the White House photographer. Yeah. I'll hold it on this position if you look in another browser. I don't want to share the screen because then it's going to mess everything up.
Don't share the screen.
But this particular individual started following me, and I'm like, okay, this is very, very odd. It just was very odd. And I can't really make out the name, but I did the translation. It's written in Chinese. And if you guys want to look more into that, you're welcome to go and look more into it. It's GIPIEMMO is the Twitter handle. But I remember looking and seeing all this other stuff that was going on that we had talked about. So I blew up those pictures, and on the first picture it has a Chinese flag, and on the second picture it has a United States, but it looks like it was one of the colony flags because it didn't have all the stars on it, or at least it appears to not have all the stars on it. And the last picture, which is the profile picture, the skull and bones is on it. Now, I didn't follow him back. I don't normally follow people that I don't at least, I'm not, they have something current. So there's not really anything current that has been shared except for in September, I believe. So I don't know. It was just one of those things. And then I went to look through some of the followers that are on his account, because nobody that I follow are on his account. Nobody, not one person. It's like a out of blue kind of thing. He actually has another one that's on his follow list that is a locked account with his picture on it. So something's going on, and I just wanted it to be publicly known. Just like Jim, you have your proof of a live video.
Yeah. I do.
This is
I'm here.
This is my proof if anything happens kind of thing. This is very strange to me. So I just wanted to go and show that. And I think we'll dig a little bit into it on Discord tonight, because it's connected with what we were digging with last week or the week before. It's connected. So I'm going to digress and go to the next one now. White Eagle 1900 shared this video. Okay. And I am not going to share the video because I'm going to let you guys go and do it. It's a little bit of a longer video with Tucker Carlson and somebody else. And I let her know, hey, I'm going to mention you on the show today because, you shared this. And she said, no, you need to give credit where credit's due, and that's the Kill Shot 82. So I wrote her and let her know, and she said thank you too for letting her know about the Tiger Network, which was what I try to do whenever I'm sharing something that I ran across that I don't know how it pops up in my feed, because I wasn't following her until after this, and I could not find a person that tweeted it or retweeted it. So that's a God thing to me whenever I run across something like that. So, but I talk about the Night Owl News, and I talk about our show, and I always point people back. I'm definitely...
Your Night Owl News is getting very popular.
It's so cool. It's so very cool when people go and they show up, they'll say hello, and they'll go, I'll catch the rest of it at noon. Because they know now that I replay it at noon the next day. It's like they're on their way to bed, but they know that they can come back, and if they can't find it on YouTube, they'll find it on the Tiger Network, which is really, really cool. So appreciate you for that. So I'm going to give you the floor, and anything that you might want to go and add in regards to what's going on in your neck of the woods. Like what's going to happen tonight on your shows. Do you have any shows tonight?
I have no idea. I was taking care of administrative stuff all day, and I haven't been on my computer until just now, and I'm listening to you talk, and I'm giving you color commentary, and I'm writing emails and typing and answering.
Are you going to
messages
be
and stuff.
on later on the ship show?
The ship show won't be tonight.
Okay.
Tonight is Revolution Radio with Dr. True Ott, and Burdock will be on that, and Phil, and I won't be on.
Okay.
I won't be on tonight.
You taking a night
Tomorrow,
off? Yay!
I got to take tonight off. I really do.
Yay! Let's hear it for Jim's going to take the night off. All right. I was talking in Discord the other day. I'm like, I need to take a trip to the beach. And then they were like, yeah, maybe you should do that. And then I go, but I can't really do that unless I record a show. It's like, yeah, you can. take the night off. I'm like, oh yeah, that is right. I
Well,
can.
you can, and you know, you're coming up on what, the anniversary of the Wright brothers. They're in Kitty Hawk. You know, that's a perfect time to go to the beach. You should schedule that.
I'm thinking
Isn't that
about
like
doing
December
that.
3rd?
You know, I'm at a place right now where it's like I want to go to the beach, but if I wait just a couple more weeks, I might be able to get a really cheap room so that I can take the drive, spend the night, then come back the next day refreshed after I've walked on the beach. And it doesn't matter how cold it is, I can bundle up, but my feet have to hit the sand and the water. And it hasn't happened that way for too long. I try to do that at least once a year, but I haven't been able to do that due to that beer virus.
Oh no, don't drink beer. And well, don't let that beer stop you from your day-to-day life, guys.
I agree. It's just with everything else that's going on with my grandkids, and yes, it's grounding, Patroness. I have to be within a phone call when my daughter's working so that somebody's nearby for them. So that's my reasoning on why I have not taken off and just done it. And now I'm coming to a point where I'm ready to take off and do it because I know that I have to ground myself. It's like a reset for me.
Let's not have the Night Owl News next week and take a day off. And here's why. Not the Night Owl News, the Fun Friday, because on the 13th I'm going to be super busy.
Okay.
I have to drive again, and I have to attend some festivities that are scheduled for that day.
Okay.
Who
Knowing
would
that,
schedule things on Friday the 13th? I don't know. Only my friends.
knowing that is great. We'll take off on next Friday. Awesome.
Let's do it. Let's take a break.
Gonna take a break for the Fun Friday.
Let's take a week off. Let's turn the internet off for a week. Let's everyone go down to their polling station and observe what's going on. Double check things are right in your own locality.
This is
Then
true.
that would solve a lot of problems. Okay.
Yes.
One moment. I'm here, but I just gotta go see who's at the door.
Okay. All right. Before we wrap things off, guys, or wrap things up, not off. If you guys want to go ahead and throw something in the chat room, if you have a question or a comment. Otherwise, after I wrap the show up, remember that the Night Owl News, it is going to be on tonight at midnight. And then, of course, we have the scripture of the day that comes every day. It's a pre-recorded thing, and it plays on its own. The wonderful magic of programming.
You're doing a great job with that too.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that very much so. All right.
Sorry, nobody can hear nobody can hear you now in the house because you're like resonating right inside my brain.
Alrighty
So
then.
they think I'm talking to myself. I'm just talking to myself, guys. Okay.
All right. I'm going to wrap things up in prayer if you don't have anything else, Jim.
That's a great idea.
All right, here we go. Father, thank you so much for a glorious day that you have given us. I ask that you continually have a hedge of protection over Jim, over everyone who is listening now or later, Father God. Continue to go and watch after my sister and anyone else who's dealing with cancer, whether they're going through chemotherapy, surgery, radiation, Father. Just lay your hands on them and let's get rid of this ugly disease, Father. And you say to ask, and if it's in your will, it's what's going to happen. So that's what I'm asking for. And I also ask that you just be with each and every one of us to have us in your will, your way on this day and forth. I ask it in your Heavenly Son's name. In Jesus Christ's name I pray. Amen and amen.
Amen.
All right. Thank you,
Thanks for having
Jim,
me
so
on.
much for being on the show. I appreciate it very much so.
You're welcome.
And everybody, I will see you on the internet at another time, which will be probably tonight at midnight, for
Midnight
sure.
Tonight.
And then next week...
Remember, we're internet people, not real.
Yeah, that's right. And then next week, we are taking our Fun Friday off. So,
correct.
I do have it downloaded on my phone now where I can broadcast. So you may just see some beach scenes if I can make it out of this town. That would be cool. All right, guys. We'll see ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.